Hey, what's up? It's Tati, and we are going to talk about Death Before Dishonor, Ring of Honor's pay-per-view tonight. I wanted to go in order because obviously I know everybody's waiting to hear about what happened with the Briscoes and FTR, but I'm just going to start off with that because I'm actually upset about FTR winning. Do I like FTR? Absolutely. I think that they've actually proved the point about being possibly the best tag team champions in the world right now. I didn't really feel like they had to win. Like I do feel like whatever people think about them before the match, they still feel the same even after. I really feel like the Briscoes has worked hard. They haven't had as much opportunities to be in the ring as much as FTR, obviously holding 3 sets of golds from 3 different promotions. So maybe we haven't seen as much from them, but the match that they had at the Supercard show was absolutely one of the best matches of the year. So I really just felt like with them just being signed to a multi-year deal with Ring of Honor, the Briscoes should have won. I was really hoping to see them win, and honestly I'm a bitter Betty about it, and they didn't win. That match was absolutely amazing. Was it better than the first one? I'm not sure. I will actually have to go back and check that out and see what I think, but they really did their very best, and it was absolutely lovely. This was actually a pretty good pay-per-view, not bad for a Saturday night. There was a pre-show where they had 4 matches. There actually was going to have 1 match, and I think they announced yesterday that they were putting 3 more matches onto the card, which is much better because I don't want to see any more fucking promos or any little packages about anything. They've been showing them for the past 2 weeks. They're actually really nicely put together, but once you've already seen it once, you really don't need to keep seeing them all the time. So I was really happy that they added a few matches onto the card. Pre-show obviously would get you hyped into, you know, buying the show or watching the show, and I already had high hopes for the pay-per-view. Really it was just the main event that I really wanted to see. And it's interesting too because I was just watching the, you know, little interviews that they do with Tony after the pay-per-view, and you know, having the tag team match being the main event, that's something that you don't really see often. That's because these guys has done such a really great job before, that they felt comfortable with putting, you know, tag team match as a main event. Actually, they did say that it was a coin toss between, you know, the match with Claudio and Jonathan or FTR. So whoever won that coin toss would be the main event of this show. So I think it worked really well. So let me just be honest with you. The pre-show, it was all right. Matter of fact, I was a little bit underwhelmed with Cabana being in the first match. I don't know, like it just didn't do anything for me. Cabana versus Anthony Henry, and I've seen some good stuff from Anthony before. Obviously we've seen some good things from Cabana, but if that was supposed to reel me into the show, that just wasn't going to do it for me. At times it just feels like Anthony was just carrying the whole thing, and Colt was just got a check for showing up. Very underwhelming. Didn't like it at all. Didn't really do anything for me. I don't remember who won. Oh yeah, Cabana won. So like I said, it was not, you didn't miss anything. If you want to watch a pre-show, it is on YouTube, but like I said, it's not that great. I had to write down what was going on for the pre-show because honestly it wasn't that great to me. When it really picked up was after the Trust Busters had a match with Shinobi Shadow Squad. I was like, okay, that was not okay to me either. It was just like, just passing the time, waiting for the pay-per-view to come on. Trust Busters ended up winning that match. When it picked up for me was when we had Brian Cage and the Gates of Agony. Oh my god, I just love the way they look. I really like that whole thing with Tully. They look like a really good faction, and I like to see where they're going with this. So they had a match with Blake Christian, Tony Deppen, and Alex Zane. this is when things really picked up. This was the best match on the pre-show. Actually, the only one that I feel like was really worth sitting through watching. They did a really great job, and this is like a match that, you know, you wanted to see to get you hyped for the pay-per-view. Gates of Agony and Brian Cage ended up winning this match, so I was really happy with that. It was a little weird, but there was a moment where Prince Nana came out and he was saying that he bought Tulip Blanchard Enterprises. Not sure where they're going with that, but I'm pretty sure we'll be able to see where that's going in the up and coming months. The little confusing thing to me is, where are they going with ROH right now? You know, they're just having their second show, which is their pay-per-view, since they had, you know, they had a super card earlier this year, and now they have another pay-per-view, but we're not seeing any weekly televised shows or anything consistent where we can see ROH as its own entity. Lately, we've been seeing, you know, people from ROH competing in AEW. Obviously, there is no show for them to have, but I like to see where they're going with that, because, you know, they bought the company, I want to say, was it January, I think? And while they're doing a great job with the pay-per-views and using their top stars to feature in AEW shows, I think it's moving really slow. Last match on the buy-in, or whatever the hell you call it, is Willow Nightingale versus Allison Kay. I'm gonna tell you guys, I know y'all love Willow. She's becoming really popular, but I feel like, I've been watching her before I gave my opinion. I feel like she thinks in the ring. I do not like watching wrestling and I feel like you're hesitating, you're thinking about your next move, or you're waiting to see what your opponent's going to do. Like, if you really pay attention to some of her matches that she's had lately, I just feel like you just see that a lot, and I don't like that. And I'm not trying to say anything about the ladies, but they're really great female wrestlers. I do think at times she's really great in the ring, but I feel like she needs a lot more experience, and I'm just not feeling it right now. Okay, so obviously Willow ends up winning that match, and we move on to the first match of the actual pay-per-view, and it was Jonathan Grisham versus Claudio. And honestly, I was really surprised to see this being the first match of the night. I was really thinking either the last match or second to last match, so it was really surprising to see this. And obviously, you know, the crowd was really happy that, you know, that these are the two that started off the whole pay-per-view. To be honest, this match could have been better to me. I really feel like, man, I ain't got no issues with Jonathan, but sometimes, you know, you got a little guy versus a giant, and honestly, at times it just seemed a little weird, you know, with these two in the ring. Obviously, you're a small dude going against a giant. Obviously, compared to him, best thing to do is take the legs out, and that's what it seemed like was going on throughout the match. Was, you know, Claudio favoring, I think, his like left leg. It just seemed like he was injured most of the match. Obviously, they're working it, but the match, what I expected from, well, what I thought these two would give, I thought it would be better, but it was okay. Nothing disappointing, just not the best. But the outcome was really what everybody was waiting for, was for Claudio to win, because he's never held, you know, gold like that, and world title gold. And when you really think about it, that's absolutely crazy. Some people are like, well, he just got here. And the people who are saying that are the ones who don't realize that, no, he didn't really just get here. He's been there before WWE. Actually, you can't even consider him a WWE guy. He was definitely an ROH guy before walking into WWE. So it's almost like, you know, he kind of closed that chapter in his career and moved on to WWE, which I feel like they're absolutely underutilized him completely. Had he still been there, obviously there would have been no opportunities for gold for him, I think. And he made the right move to moving on to AEW, especially after purchasing ROH. According to Tony, that was always the plan for him to return to ROH, but with the injury with Bryan Danielson, they had to, you know, make some changes and whatnot. And him winning, actually, it wasn't really about the match. It was more about the moment and him finally getting his moment in pro wrestling. If you've been following his career, you know that he was disappointed not getting the gold that he wanted, and he finally got that. So for those who don't really understand why him winning that title at that moment was important, like, you know, you haven't really been following the journey. And that's what I like about AEW. You know, they kind of take these guys who were already in the picture and put them right back into it. So it's like Claudio obviously had, you know, some plans that he wanted to achieve in ROH, and after God knows how many years he hasn't been there, he's been able to achieve something that he thought probably would have never happened, especially with there being a lot of uncertainties with ROH after, you know, the company having to, you know, not be around anymore. So I'm really happy for him. And like I said, the match was okay. Really was hoping for a lot more, but it was okay. After that, we had the 6-man tag team championship match. We had Dalton Castle and the boys and the Righteous. So Dalton and the boys ended up winning this match, getting gold. I think this was the only time that there was a title that changed hands. So every match was a match where gold was up for grabs, but except for the match with Roosh and Dragon Lee. So Dalton Castle and the boys, that match was okay. You know, following the pre-show, I felt like it really picked up. Like I said, you can really skip the pre-show and feel like you didn't really miss anything other than that match with the Gates of Agony. But the match was okay. Was really happy to see them win. I honestly thought that we were gonna see maybe another title change hand. I figured that since Claudio ended up winning, there might have been a chance, maybe a small chance, of Wheeler Yuta losing. But I guess it wouldn't make sense if somebody from the Blackpool Combat Club would have won. Why have the other one lose? So I was a little bit nervous about that. So right after that match, it was Wheeler Yuta versus Daniel Garcia, and this is kind of interesting because I think Daniel did a really good job. Sometimes losing isn't bad. This was a great match from start to finish. The issue is that after Daniel ended up losing this match, after the end of the whole pay-per-view, Tony and the wrestlers, they're doing like interviews after the show, and in the middle of Yuta talking, then Daniel just comes out and he's just talking. Like, you can't really hear him because he doesn't have a microphone, but he seems to be really upset. Tony Khan is rolling his eyes to the back of his head, like he looked really annoyed, and it was very interesting to see how upset what looked real to me, like he was really upset and he came out just to voice his opinion. Who knows? Are they going to continue to have a feud? I don't know, because you've seen the Jericho Appreciation Society, they're constantly going against BCC and all that. It's a little boring to me at this point, but Daniel did a really awesome job at this match, and I think he should be proud of himself and not worry about the losing aspect of it, because, you know, losing, you can still look good and lose at the same time. Like, I think his moment will come. Right now, I think BCC is just going to be stacking some gold, and I think that's important right now, and Daniel's just going to have to get his ass in the back of the line. Next match, we had Dragon Lee versus Roosh, and I have to tell you, I really enjoyed this match. They're brothers. They obviously had so much experience with each other in the ring, and it really shows. You know, this is like probably, well, after FTR versus Briscoes, this was like the second best to me. It was really, really fun. I loved their style, and it was just really interesting from start to finish to watch. Roosh ended up winning this match. It's actually his 10th straight winning streak. So he's won matches between AEW, matches in Mexico, match in ROH, and he's doing really, really well. And I'm interested to see where they go with this. That's why, like, seeing how well everybody's doing as far as ROH wrestlers, it just makes you wonder, like, Tony, where the hell are we going with this? There needs to be some type of shows, a weekly show, at least once a week, maybe even in the same fucking studio every week. At least if something is going on, people are going to want to buy these pay-per-views more often. People are going to be more invested into these shows. So next match, Serena D versus Mercedes Martinez. I liked it. So here's what I thought was a little interesting. The ending of this match. Honestly, I thought Serena D was going to win. I think this is one of the titles that I thought was going to change hands here. Was kind of surprised that it didn't. But I was even more surprised about the ending of the match with Serena D losing via submission. You know, she's called the Professor. And I just felt like, wow, like I honestly did not see her losing via submission. Matter of fact, I actually really saw her winning this match. I looked on Facebook and people just seemed to be so upset about Mercedes retaining. I think she's actually great, but Serena, she's on another level with wrestling. I think had she be, I guess you could say, if she had more weight to her, I could really see her doing like intergender type things like Thunder Rosa has done or whatnot. And I can see her being really successful with that, but she's really, really small. At times, to me, I think she looks a little underweight. But this match is, I think it was okay. Not the best of the night, but the outcome was not expecting for Martinez to win. And I think they're going to continue their feud after this. They did, you know, ROH tradition. You know, they hugged it out, and I guess they exchanged words or whatnot, but like in a good way. So, but I see them going, continuing the feud after this. Okay, so Samoa Joe versus Jay Lethal. Oh my god, finally. We haven't seen Joe in quite some time. So I was ready for them to just get this shit over with, because every week is Jay talking. I just wanted this to just be done and over with. Matter of fact, they start, like, Joe didn't even get down all the steps to the ring before Jay just went ham on him, okay? And I already knew Sanjay was gonna interfere, Satnam was gonna interfere. We already knew all that, but they were getting into it for a good 5 minutes or so before the ref rang the bell. And during that time, Joe seemed to be in a disadvantage, because whatever happens before the bell rings, the ref can't do anything about it. But once the bell rings, they're in the ring. Then that's when the ref kicked out Satnam. Sanjay, I don't remember if he even came out at first, but Satnam did get involved very early in the match, before the match, and during the match as well. And the ref was like, get the hell out of here. And this match was great. Exactly what I expected from these two. With everything that was going on, I was wondering if Joe was gone due to an injury and had to sit out for a bit, have this match, and possibly be gone again. But Joe ended up retaining, and this was a really, really great match. Had no issues with this. Not the best, but I can honestly see Joe being, I can see Jay being really upset about this loss and trying to get another match from Joe. So that's probably what's going to happen next. Alright, y'all, on to the main event, Briscoes versus FTR. And let me just say this, okay? This is what I was waiting for. If I missed all the other matches, I would have been at a loss for a few of them. But this match right here was absolutely amazing. First of all, it's 2 out of 3 falls, right? I completely forget about that stipulation, okay? So the first fall was the Briscoes, and that's who I wanted to win. And when the bell rung, and I'm like, holy shit, like, I'm just going off, like, super, super excited. My dog is like, he just wants to leave. Like, he's over it with me and wrestling, screaming and stuff. And that's when I realized, wait a minute, it's 2 out of 3. This shit has to keep going. I could not believe it. Like, I was just so ecstatic thinking that they won. And this match right here, you guys, absolutely amazing. I don't know, like, because they did so well, this is why I'm so upset about the Briscoes not winning, because you can see they really put their all into this. And like I said, you know, to me, FTR didn't really have much to lose if they lost, you know what I mean? And unfortunately, it just did not happen that way. So the Briscoes did get the first pin, then obviously FTR. And at one point, I'm telling you, I know they do this thing for the drama where the referee gets knocked out and he's gone for a portion of the match, and I'm telling you, it's like the ref was just like lounging around, not paying attention. And I was like, okay, this part is getting boring. Like, ref, come back to life and just get on with it. I felt like they dragged that a little bit too long. And this match, you guys, this is definitely one of the best matches of the year. Not sure if I could say if it's better than the other, because I would have to go back and look. But it was definitely worth the watch. Best match of the night. Will these two teams go at it again? Hell yeah, I'm pretty sure that will probably happen before the end of the year. And hey, I'll be throwing my money at you guys again. FTR ends up taking this win. I was very disappointed about that, like I said, for the millionth time. But this was absolutely amazing, and this is a reason why Tony should, you know, push to have the Briscoes hopefully on maybe a Dynamite or a Rampage one day, like, to go against other teams in AEW while they're figuring out this whole ROH thing. They're absolutely amazing. Like, I know people are saying that based on past comments that the Briscoes has made about the LGBT community, that, you know, their network, the Warner Network, have not wanting to them being part of, you know, AEW. While I understand as a business that some people might do things that might be problematic, I do believe that some people could grow and make better decisions. Or you could just sit them down and say, hey, if you want to be signed with us, you can't be going out saying this type of stuff. And then it'll be up to them if they want to sign or not, you know. And I understand what they said sounded, well, it was hateful, you know. I do consider myself an ally to the LGBT community, but I do believe that people can, you know, make smarter choices. And just because they said something in the past doesn't mean it needs to be canceled or anything like that. Everybody has a moment where they may say things that are completely inappropriate, or they're voicing their opinions and they come off really, really bad. But this is about wrestling. This ain't about all this other shit that people are saying on social media or whatever. Just let it go and put these guys on TV. They're like fucking awesome, and I think they're making a mistake with that. Definitely need to be on some AEW, Dynamite, Rampage, or pay-per-view, whatever the hell it is, until Tony figures out what he wants to do with this company. But at the end of the whole thing, you know, FTR wanted the Briscoes to come on the ring so everybody can congratulate them as well, because they did a tremendous job. And right before FTR is leaving, we get Claudio and Wheeler to come out with William Regal. And it looks like maybe something's going to be going on with these two. Would definitely love to see that. It would be crazy if they were to be, you know, tag team champions as well, ROH tag team champions, and, you know, get that from FTR. I don't know if they'll go with that, but hey, I'm all in. To be honest, if FTR loses, I'm 100% okay with that. I still feel like they're the best right now, and losing one set of titles, not going to change that. Guys, thank you so much for watching my review.